Hello, thanks for joining me for this Met Office 10-day trend, 10 days that takes us towards the middle of meteorological summer. And if you're after some warm, sunny skies, then make the most of the short term, because we are going to see quite a shift in weather patterns as we go through the weekend, with the potential for further heavy and even thundery downpours. And next week looks fairly mixed at best. Let's take a look at the bigger picture for the here and now, because we've got high pressure dominating, sitting to the north of the UK, low pressure to the east. That has been bringing quite a lot of cloud across the east and some outbreaks of rain. And if anything, it just heads back towards the UK over the next couple of days, keeping the winds coming down from the north and off the North Sea. So eastern areas especially keeping a lot of cloud and a fairly cool feel. But elsewhere, there'll be a lot of fine weather around through Thursday and Friday, just a few scattered showers. It's really into the weekend that we'll start to see a bigger shift as the weather systems from the Atlantic start to push back in. Weather systems bringing clouds, moisture, outbreaks of rain, and some of that could be on the heavy side too. So by the time we get to Sunday, weather systems sitting right across the UK, and that high pressure has all but disappeared. Why the shift? Well, for that, let's look high up in the atmosphere at the shape and position of the jet stream, which is notable by its absence at the moment. However, as we run through the next couple of days, it really does get its act together, the jet stream, and form in this zonal flow, we call it, where it's strong and in almost a straight line across the Atlantic. And it's also south shifted, further south really than is typical for this time of year. And it's also stronger than is usual for this time of year. Why is that important? Well, of course, it's the jet stream that drives the low pressure systems, and it's that getting together of the jet stream that's bringing the change, that's driving the weather systems and the low pressure systems and the weather fronts across the UK for the weekend. But the winds are coming up from the southwest, so it's always going to stay fairly mild. It will be quite humid, I suspect, this weekend. So the combination of humid air and the moisture from the Atlantic likely to bring some downpours. Notice the isobars fairly well spaced as well. So it's not going to be windy, and that means that where we do get thunderstorms or heavy showers, they're likely to be slow moving. So that means, equally, as is often the case in summer, not everywhere will see them. So there is that thunderstorm threat through the weekend, but equally, it's not going to be for everyone. So be prepared for a downpour, but equally don't be surprised if you don't catch one. Overall, though, it's looking fairly showery through the weekend and beyond as low pressure systems continue to dominate through into Monday as well. There's the potential for something to develop further south. Lots of uncertainty about the track of that, but you get the general idea that with the jet stream powering low pressure systems in and it being more south shifted, just like it was for much of May, and of course that was a fairly wet month, then you can expect further outbreaks of rain with two areas of low pressure close to the UK for Monday and Tuesday as well. After that, well, there are some signs of a subtle change. The jet stream come Monday and Tuesday just showing signs of a bit of a ripple. We call this an amplification of the jet stream. This is a fairly weak amplification, admittedly, but when the jet does become more amplified like that, the weather patterns tend to slow down somewhat, and that can add to the uncertainty. What we are looking at, though, through the next few days is high pressure, certainly for the rest of this working week, but then that shift. So this is the pressure trend from the European model. The dates going forward along the top there. The previous model runs going down the side here. Red is high pressure, blue is low pressure dominant. And that strong signal for the next few days, yes, bar the odd shower and that cloud in the east, many places will be under the influence of high pressure and so see some sunshine. But quite a strong signal there for that shift this weekend. Low pressure systems, weather fronts, the potential for slow moving heavy downpours likely to last into next week, well into next week as well. But then through the middle of the week, the signal becomes more wishy-washy. The greens take over, the blues and the reds are far more faded. Uncertainty developing beyond the middle of next week. And that's shown quite nicely if we just look at two of the main computer models and their deterministic forecasts for, say, next Thursday. This is the American model showing low pressure sitting right across the UK, and that would bring lots of showers and some strong winds. But there's a ridge of high pressure not too far away. The European model has something similar, but it's all shifted just a few hundred miles further west. And in this scenario, yes, there's low pressure nearby, but actually that would allow some warmth and potentially some quite high temperatures across the UK. So that slowing down of the weather systems does increase the uncertainty beyond Wednesday next week. But certainly before that, much of next week looking showery, but as is always the case, there will be dry and bright spells in between, and then that uncertainty towards the end of next week. Watch out for those potentially very heavy downpours through the course of the weekend. Make sure you stay up to date with the latest from the Met Office, and of course day-to-day forecast available on YouTube, and make sure you're following us across social media.